Today we're going to rate Zac Djellab's team on my team on Fantasy Football Hub. Zac is a presenter for Chelsea and for Football Daily, and he's here today to go up against his comrades, his peers, and some FPL experts on the table and see how his team comes out. Zac, welcome to the channel.
Thank you, mate. Thank you for having me. Pleasure to be here.
No, it's going to be good fun, and I'm going to be interested to see if there's a lot of Chelsea bias. Don't spoil us now, but we'll see. We'll see. So we're going to work our way from back to front. We're going to go goalkeeper, defender, one at a time, just not to spoil it. So if you want to start at the back, do you want to tell us who your goalkeeper is going to be?
Yes. So kicking it off, I've gone for Nick Pope. I quite liked him, and I also went with Raya as well, Brentford keeper. Okay. Obviously, Brentford have recently signed another keeper as well, so I got a little bit worried about whether he is going to start every game. So that's why I'm going to probably put Nick Pope in goal when it comes to it.
I'm just going to let you in on a little something when it comes to the tinkering. If you were to downgrade Raya, you might have $500,000 to spend further up the pitch and beat Kieran. But for a bit of context for people, you and Kieran have a bit of competitive. Whenever we told him you'd be coming on, he was like, "You're the only person he wants to beat."
Oh, no. Of course he did.
Tell us your first defender.
Okay, so I think a lot of people have this boy in their team, Alexander-Arnold.
Oh, yeah. Absolute no-brainer.
Benny, but this boy does everything for you points-wise. And so the way I've always thought with defenders is I've always go with fullbacks because they get the clean sheet points, but they've also got a better chance of getting assists. And I normally also try and pick ones that also take set pieces as well. And like Alexander-Arnold, I guess, is an FPL absolute king for people.
He's he's like FPL folklore even already. Yeah. Like God knows what he's going to do for the next 10 years, but I mean, he's like an absolute legend of the game already. He really has just made that right back. He's changed the role across the globe, the way Klopp's used him and what he's done. So everyone else seems to be following suit. So I wonder if you have any more fullbacks here. Who's next?
Digne. Aston Villa's Digne. I think of a guy who goes up on the pitch and also takes set pieces again. So I went with him. I thought he had a decent season last year. And I actually I have a little feeling, I say this every year, but I think Aston Villa might do better than they did last season and try and break that top 10. And I think Digne would be very important for that as well. They've
signed like Boubacar Kamara. They've probably made another signing or two. Yeah, like some ridiculous signings. And, it'd be really interesting to see what they do there. They do have around game week 5 and 6. Maybe they'll have to shift them on by then. They've Arsenal and Man City. But, for the opening game weeks, Bournemouth, Everton, Crystal Palace, West Ham, there's worse starts to a season. So Digne, attacking threat, clean sheet potential. I like it. Who's up next?
Thank you. My next one is Kyle Walker. Kyle Walker at Man City. Not necessarily the biggest in terms of getting assists. Obviously, he does pop up every now and again, but also he is a kind of a stalwart. I do really, really like Man City's defence, and he's a guy that when he is fit, he is normally always one of the first names on the team sheet.
Yeah, I remember when I was digging into pre-season, he was actually, of all the Man City players, he had the lowest expected points per 90, I think, last season, or the lowest points per 90. But the other side of it is, if you think he's going to play, that's all you kind of need in a Man City team. And if he does play, there's clean sheets there more often than not, which means 6 points guaranteed. Bonus, assists, goals on top of that, you're laughing. So he's a budget way into that Man City defence, and he could start, so I like it.
Thank you.
Go on, who's next?
Okay, so my fourth one, I've gone for Tomiyasu.
Okay, nice budget option. He's very popular this season.
Exactly. He's someone, again, when fit, will be in that Arsenal side. And I like the side that Arteta is building. I think it's a young side that has a lot of potential. And I think they surprised people last year. And Tomiyasu was one of those guys. Again, it's just about his fitness. There was a period of time last year where he did just go missing, essentially, for a long time. But I think if he's fit, again, he's another one that's on that team sheet. And I think Arsenal will probably be better than they were last year, especially defensively as well. And they were pretty good defensively last year. And so I think he'll be racking up some points for me.
Nice fixtures as well. Palace, Leicester, Bournemouth, Fulham, first four. And if we were to check out like what is he's expected to score over the first four, it's pretty well. Let me just check it out. He's expected to score 15.5 points over the first 4 games, which is okay. It's okay, but maybe we'll come back to that a bit later. Who's your fifth defender? And do you plan on playing him, or is he going to be just kind of bench fodder? Because if he's fodder, I'd recommend just cheap.
Straight on the bench. He's brand new to them. Brentford, Hickey. Potentially could have quite a fun time. He could have a decent season for them.
Hickey comes, yeah, okay. Hickey. Now, I will come back to it, but I think he could be one you might want to take a bit of money for further up the pitch, but we'll see. It's going to be really exciting to see what he does, to be honest with you. I think he had a pretty saucy transfer fee, did he?
Yeah, I can't remember off the top of my head, but I remember one moment he was being rumoured to join Arsenal, and then he's ended up at Brentford. But I think one of my biggest issues is I'm when I start this, I always just go make the best team and don't think about what they're playing for the first 5 games. Yeah, which I think we may find as well the further we go up on the pitch.
Yeah, the sort of fixture planning and stuff is whenever you kind of get into really trying to win your mini leagues and stuff, and there's obviously a great fixture ticker on Hub that I would be glued to, and these fixtures, as we can see here, all the expected points and stuff. But yeah, I think the bigger thing here you're gonna have to tinker with, and if you want to be competitive with Kieran, is if you're leaving a 5 million player on the bench, that's $1 million that you could put elsewhere. But we'll come back to it when I give you the chance to tinker. I've given you all the chances. If you give a terrible team to us, we just point and laugh at you, Zach. That's what we do, but that's okay with me. So give us your first midfielder.
Okay, so one of my favourite things is when I see that these guys haven't yet been moved into a forward and they are still a midfielder. Mohamed Salah, he gets obviously the extra points for scoring, even though he's playing striker at times for the way Liverpool play. It is ridiculous that I think he's still counted as a midfielder. He just continues to get better and better. And I think next season or the season coming up will be the same for him.
Yeah, he's just so consistent. There's a reason he's 13 million in the game, 30.8 points over the first 4 game weeks expected. I think that's actually the highest of all players across all positions. So no brainer, locked in the team, high, everyone owns him. Who's next?
So this is where the bias starts coming in. A Chelsea boy, a brand new Chelsea boy as well, in fact, Raheem Sterling. Another player who I think is counted as a midfielder here, a bit like Salah, but I think he's obviously going to be playing a lot further up on the pitch. And with the way Chelsea are probably going to be playing next season, he'll also be getting into kind of the forward striker role as well. He may even be playing through the middle for Chelsea. I really like Sterling. I think he's actually been quite underrated. He's obviously played a lot less last season and the season as well before that under Pep Guardiola. And I think he's now come to a team where he's basically going to be the main man for us. And I really do think he could have a shining season, and that's why he's in the team, and also a little bit of bias.
Yeah, I've said it before. I think this is exactly what his career needs. Just shake it up a bit, and Man City, he's done everything he wanted to do there, really, apart from maybe win a Champions League. But over at Chelsea, a bit more of a focal point, a bit more nailed, less competition. Obviously, Grealish coming into that City team, chomping at his bit, chomping at his heels to take his spot. Maybe Sterling can go over here and relax a bit and kick on in his career. But enough about that. He is actually the 4th midfielder when it comes to 4 game week predictions. So how many points is he going to get over the first 4 game weeks? Expected to get 22.7 points. We're getting into the nitty gritty here, Zach. But you've got 2 big hitters in midfield there now. Who's next?
Another Chelsea boy, one of my favourite players as well out there, Mason Mount. Mason last year really took it to the next level, obviously getting double goals and double assists. And I think with the way the squad is looking and by signing players like Raheem Sterling, who could actually get on the end of his goal, on the end of his creative opportunities, I think he's only going to get better and better as he has done now for the 3 seasons in a row. And yeah, I really he's another one that will take Chelsea set pieces as well at times. I think he can be he's involved in essentially kind of everything that goes through Chelsea. So for me, and he's also again, Thomas Tuchel, a little bit like Pep, will change things quite a bit. But one thing that is normally quite consistent is Mason Mount playing. 11
goals and 11 assists. While everyone still rates him, I feel like maybe because he was so hyped, no one has really clocked what he's actually done. Maybe it's just me. I know you work at Chelsea, so you're probably talking about him all the time. But for me, in the wider football space, I feel like he needs some respect put in his name. But Mason Mount, a great shout. And while we're here with the Chelsea guy, I want to ask you a quick question. The defence, disarray, guys out here, guys out there. But Koulibaly's come in. How confident are you of clean sheets? You don't have any Chelsea players in defence. Is that a message, or what are you thinking?
I don't quite know. I think because it's a lot of change. You're not just losing one with Rudiger. You're possibly going to lose. You've already lost Christensen as well, and you're probably going to be losing Azpilicueta. So 3 players who were quite important, I think, is a bit of a risk. The first season under Thomas Tuchel, or his first half season, defensively Chelsea were amazing. And then last year, they were letting in a few more than what they had the previous year. Thomas Tuchel knows how to make a good defence. So I think you could bank on someone like Koulibaly when he does officially join, as someone putting him in there. If you put Thiago Silva in there, absolutely fine. If you put Reece James in there, Chilwell, these guys I completely understand as well what he's going for. because they again, like with the way Chelsea play, they're bombing forward and they're either getting the assists or they're scoring the goals. So yeah, I like it. I was just trying to find some cheaper alternatives to some of them boys.
Yeah. Chilwell and Reece James owned by a lot of people playing, coming in at 6 million though, which is hefty enough. But you have a fourth midfielder to tell me about.
Well, this is where I was trying to start saving money, if I'm being quite honest, for fourth and fifth. My fourth midfielder though is Gomez at Everton, Andre Gomez.
Okay, Andre Gomez. Do you think he'll get some minutes?
I don't think he's going to be starting week in, week out, but I think he might reach, say, maybe like 20 appearances, which is okay. Like, he's on my bench for me, if I'm being honest.
Everton, I just don't know what to think. I mean, they've Chelsea in that first game, which is very tough, but then after that they do have Villa, Forest, Brentford and Leeds, which would be a good opportunity to get some points. If they don't get points there though, they're back into Liverpool and Arsenal, so yeah, it'd be interesting for Everton next season. I'd be really keen to see how they spend that Richarlison money, because I don't think I've seen any massive signings yet. But we'll move on. You've that fifth spot in midfield to fill.
Yeah, well, if you thought Gomez was bad, we've also gone for El Neni, and this is very much like looking at the players and being like, who is the one that's going to start? I think Lokonga was also there as well for an Arsenal option. And I know Arteta actually does like El Neni. There are games when he wants someone to be a bit of a defensive workhorse for them. He will play, and he has games where he's actually incredible at times. I've gone for him. Again, he's on the bench. He's not necessarily going to be starting for me. But I thought, like, out of all the players that were there, he's maybe the best of a bad bunch.
So based off Hickey being on the bench and El Neni and Gomez being on the bench, it looks like to me like you're going for a 4-3-3. So you need three strikers who start. Who's your first one?
Okay, my first one is none other than Mr. Harry Kane.
Okay.
This is where the money. This is where all the money went. I'll be honest. Harry Kane. He has obviously everything to his game. Like, over the past couple of years, not only has he been scoring 1 million goals, he's now getting assists. Like, he's a dream to watch. And if I'm being dead honest, I was kind of tossing up between him or Erling Haaland, who I probably assumed Kieran went for. I don't know that for a fact. And with everything obviously that he's coming in, and I understand that he is probably going to join the league and he's probably going to get like 20 goals, but so can Harry Kane. And the one thing that Kane will also do that Haaland I don't think will do is get the assists. Last year, it was ridiculous what he's been doing. Like, the way he drops in and does things like that is fantastic. So for me, yeah, he's the guy. He's also going to be the captain of the side. He's my main man, Harry Kane.
Well, that's it. Since Conte came in, he's as Bakar, our resident FPL expert, has sort of dug into on a few videos with us. He leads all the like metrics that you want people to lead, like XG, XA, X this, X that. Do you know, X baller. He just is like expected to do everything. And like having him there as a captaincy option is amazing. And obviously, like, he threw a bit of a strop. Well, at least that's what his performances looked like early last season about not getting the City transfer. But whenever he came back, he's back. Do you know? So I find it very, very hard to go without Kane. And if I really want Haaland, it's probably going to have to be both of them, to be quite honest. But you've got 12 million left, I believe, for two forwards. So it's going to be interesting to see how you spend it.
Yes. So I went to Newcastle for the next move. I like Chris Wood. I've always liked Chris Wood. I liked him when he was at Burnley. I've always thought he's a capable player. He's a guy that can score goals. When he was at Burnley, obviously he was the guy that would start week in, week out. Now that he's moved to Newcastle and with Callum Wilson, he's not going to be starting every game. I do appreciate that. And unless some things change, obviously late on in the transfer window, it's going to be those two up top. I mean, they have been linked with other guys, so things might change. But Callum Wilson's injury record is patchy at the best of times. Yeah. And so I thought, obviously, when he's injured, like he was for a majority of the season, Chris Wood is the guy that's going to be there. And also, he offers something different. He offers something different to them. He's a lot more of a target man than Callum Wilson is. And I just think I like Wood, and I know that, like, I feel like putting Wood in a team guarantees me like 8 goals, 9 goals through the season. As you said, I didn't really have a lot of money left, and so it was kind of more of like a safe for cheap option. Well,
Zach's got Wood. That's not something we expected to see when we bounced on. This isn't OnlyFans, this is YouTube, baby. So yeah, he's got Nottingham Forest in the first game. Do you know what I mean? If he gets some game time, then Brighton, then you've got City and Liverpool in 2 of the next 3. Wolves, who can be okay defensively, but you know, those 2 opening fixtures, why not give it a crack? You have 6 million left, 1 player left. I'm gonna just give you an idea of the prediction predicted points. This is over the first 4 game weeks. Top of the list is Johnson from Forest. Then we've Mbuemo at Brentford. Awoniyi, I think is how I would say it, at Forest. Solanke. Is it Solanke? People always tell me it's Solanke. Yeah. Gelhardt is below Wood. And then Armstrong, Edward, Daka, Undav, Mateta, Fabio Silva. Who are you going to go for?
Yeah.
Or if it's someone else, maybe?
No. So you have mentioned them. There are some interesting names in there. But I went with Awoniyi. Yeah. I'm never quite too sure how to say it. Obviously, Nottingham Forest coming up. I feel like with all of the new teams that are coming up, I'm going to go either 2 ways. Really, really bad, relegated like very, very early, or shock, like they surprise us. Like we've seen that a few times over the past couple of years with the likes of Wolves, with the likes of Brentford last season. I don't quite think he's going to be maybe Ivan Toney levels like he was last year. But I am interested in him. Obviously, he's a brand new signing. He did pretty well in the Bundesliga. He's a former Liverpool player. And I think a lot of Liverpool fans, when I was doing research about him, have said like they kind of expected him to do pretty well eventually. He's only 24, and so he's got a lot to prove. And being that kind of main signing, he's going to be playing week in, week out up front for them. So yeah, that was the main reason. Like, it's more of a risk that could hopefully pay off, rather than maybe going for a name that's like a bit more Premier League known. Well,
it's safe to say this team is far from the template. It's nowhere near close to what like the sort of highest percentage owned players are. So this is a team that he's got the fear now. This is a team that could put you first place in the world potentially, because no one's going to have it. Do you know what I mean?
Take that.
And that's a positive. Equally, you could be last in the world on your own because no one else is going to have it. So it's one of the two. It'll be interesting to see. Now, I am going to give you a chance to tinker. You know, this is your team. You've obviously, you know, what I will say to you is, you know, if the likes of Hickey isn't going to play, you know, at 5 million, you could make him into a 4 million guy and you have an extra $1 million to spend further up the pitch. Okay. You know, that's just an idea, but maybe you don't want to spend $1 million. You're your own man, Zach. You can do what you want.
No, I would like to change that. I would like to change Hickey for some random geezer who's 4 million quid.
Let's go for the best 4 million player according to the prediction tool. It's Nico Williams, and I tell you what, that's bang on. Everyone's picking him. Everyone's picking him.
I'll take that. Okay.
So that gives you an extra $1 million for an upgrade if you wanted to.
Yes, definitely. Might as well. Obviously, the more expensive players. How much is Chris Wood?
Chris Wood's 6 million.
6 million. Okay. And then what is the best rated 7 million striker?
So if we go to 7 million, we'll go to forwards. Ivan Toney, Jimenez, Welbeck's in there too. Adams.
Okay. And then,
Ings.
Okay. So I'm going to put Ivan Toney there for now, but before that, can we check how much Gomez is, please?
Gomez is 4.5. So you'd get a 5.5, and you could get any of these guys here. So Gray's there, Redmond, Neto, Gross, Vissa.
I've made my decision.
Okay.
Banker, I've made my decision.
All right. Do you want to phone a friend, or are you going for it?
I'm going for it. I would like to swap him for Pedro Neto.
Oh, baby. Okay, yeah.
I believe in Pedro Neto. I've believed in Pedro Neto for a while now. Unfortunately, his injuries have really hampered him over the last year or so. But let's believe that this year's going to be it. Let's believe he's going to be fully fit. And he's going to be spearheading that attack that midfield attack for Wolves. I'm happy with that. That I am happy with. I'm very happy with.
I don't know where this is going to come out. This could be above Kieran, this could be below him. That's all you really care about. I mean, Reeves at 92, Bakar's at 97. I think he'll be doing well to beat him. But the main thing is here, as long as you're not last, you're going to be on the podium. You know, you're going to be top 3 until we record more videos. So will I hit save plan? Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Hit save plan.
So 89's a score to beat. That's the lowest so far. And what I will tell you is, don't panic. When I press this button, Kane could be on the bench, for example. I'll have to drag him in, make him captain. Okay. So it won't be the final score, but it'll kind of creep up. So, okay, so you're at 78%, but Kane is on the bench. Okay. And Trent is on the bench. So if we swap Trent in, and who would you bench? Probably Nico Williams?
Yeah.
So if we bring Trent in there, you're already up to 83. And we're going to bring Harry Kane in.
Yes.
Is he going to...
Gomez. Oh no. Now do I keep Neto in? That is a question.
What we could do here is, if you want to kind of hack it, you can look at predicted points for game week 1. So in terms of game week 1, the player you have out there predicted to score the least is Chris Wood, but he is up against Forest. He's only predicted to score 3.1 points, but that's probably around the game time issue you mentioned. So if you think he's going to play, you'd probably go with him, to be honest, but it's probably between, in my head, Tomiyasu, Awoniyi and Wood. Like, who are you going to bench?
Let's get Tomiyasu off. Let's get Tomiyasu
3 attackers
off for Harry Kane.
He's an idiot.
Oh, no.
What I will say is, who did you want your captain to be? Did you want it on Salah?
What's the first games they're playing? Obviously, Southampton, Fulham. I mean, it probably should be Salah for that game, realistically.
But maybe if you change it to Kane.
Oh, okay, yeah. Try change it to Kane. See what that
it makes it worse. It makes it worse. Back to Salah.
Yeah.
Back to Salah. Okay, so look, I think this is your final score. I think you're at 88% with 66.2 predicted points. Zach, I hate to tell you, but you're 1% below Kieran. So the big man has bragging rights.
By 1% as well.
By
that
1%.
Is rough.
Yeah, that's tough going. But look, thanks a million for giving it a crack.
Mate, thank you.
If people want to give this a go, you don't even need to sign up to Hub. If you click the link in the description, you can head over to the site and you can build your team. You'll see your team rate and your predicted points. Pop them below and we'll see who comes out with the best. Zach, thanks for joining us.
Thanks very much for having me, mate. I appreciate it. It was good fun. It was very good fun.
Look, everyone, thanks a million. And before you go, there is also 50% off if you sign up to Hub now. The link is in the description. And yeah, 50% off before the new season starts. Give it a crack. See you later.